Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and iOS 13.2.3 has been out for a few days, or longer than a few days at this point, and I've been using it primarily on my iPhone XS Max and also my wife's iPhone X. So I'm going to talk about my experience in this video, then we'll talk about your experience, and then we'll talk about your experience based off the YouTube community poll, and then read some of the comments that you left as well. There were over 15,000 of you that actually replied to the poll, so I really appreciate that. Now the first thing is, this particular version has less bugs than the previous one, according to my wife anyway. She's been using it primarily on her main phone, and she said she's having less bugs with things crashing and things like that. However, she did say that her GroupMe app was crashing regularly, so it keeps crashing. Not a ton of people use it, but it is crashing on her regularly. She hasn't had any other issues with other apps as well. The other thing she mentioned too is in her Mail app, when you flag something, you can pick a color. So when you flag something in Mail, you can pick red or green or orange. They keep reverting back to red, so they don't stay on the color that she selected. So that's just something odd that's going on there. Now, overall, performance is quite good. Most people are saying that it's very smooth, and I'm seeing the same thing. There's really no slowdowns or anything like that. And apps and things are loading nice and fast, and most people are really not having issues with performance. In fact, the one issue that I see the most is battery. And most people say that battery is just okay or not great. So on my wife's iPhone X, we'll go into settings. And if we go back, we'll go down to battery. Now this phone has 90% battery health, so this is 2 years old, a little over 2 years old at this point, but this will give you an idea of how it's been. And on her better days, 4 hours and 43 minutes of screen on time, 13 minutes of screen off time, and that's with about 20% battery life left or something around that. Most of the time though, she's only getting about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. So it's not great battery life, but it's okay. Everything else is pretty much fine. Just the battery life seems to be the biggest concern. And based off the YouTube community poll, many of you said the exact same thing. In fact, over 100 times, actually 199 times, battery was mentioned as mostly not great. So probably only 25% of you said that it was great. So most people are having issues with battery life. Again, most people are saying good performance and it's smooth. And then some people are saying they're having LTE connection issues again. So their signal may not be as strong, or it's just not working, and they have to go into airplane mode and turn it back off to get it to work. I thought they'd fix that, but it seems like they haven't right now. And then finally, something I saw over and over again in your comments is that WhatsApp is crashing again. So it's crashing regularly. People are saying that seems to be pretty common, and it keeps crashing for most people. So what I did is I went through all the comments and things, and let me put some stats here on the left. And these are all the different times different things were mentioned as far as battery and RAM management and Mail and app crashes and heat and LTE. A lot of people are saying that they're having heat issues as well. But out of the 400 comments or so, only 23 are saying heat issues. So it's not really that many in the grand scheme of things. Now let me put some other stats here for all of you that commented. Here are all the different devices that you're using here on the left. And these are all just all the different devices that you let me know that you're using within the comments. Now let's take a look at the YouTube community poll. Now, if you haven't noticed already, my voice may sound a little bit different, and that's because, unfortunately, I caught the flu. And so I wanted to keep you informed and let you know about everything here with all the stuff going on with 13.2.3, but I may not read as many comments as I normally do. Maybe I'll read 10 to 20 instead of many more. Now, 15,000 of you have voted on this by this time, so that's pretty incredible. 406 comments. 53% of you said it was great. 5% said it was terrible, 19% said okay but some bugs, 9% said I'm using iOS 13.3 betas, and it's funny because people keep saying this number is growing, but 14% of you are using Android, so I appreciate you actually voting here even though this is all about iOS. Now let's take a look at some of the comments. Overall performance is good, but battery is draining fast as compared to previous versions when it was still iOS 13.1.2 on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. I don't have any problems yet. but maybe I'm just a normal user and I will see other feedback. iPhone 11 Pro Max. Battery life has gone up an hour easily, less stutter and very clean performance. Mail fetching bug is fixed, so no complaints here. I'm using an iPhone 10. It runs great on my iPhone 10R. I get amazing battery life, although what's really annoying is when I receive screenshots through iMessage, they are really blurry. I've heard this a few different times from different people, and I haven't really experienced that, but this goes back to iOS 13 early betas, so I'm not sure what that is, but some people are seeing it. Performance is okay, but the battery health has suddenly dropped over 2% in my iPhone 7 Plus, so I feel unhappy. Please solve the pending issues so Apple could please take us seriously about what I have struggled. The battery health gets remeasured every time you update your phone, so it's already down there. It just wasn't calculating for it yet. Everything is fine here on XS Max and on iPad Pro 12.9 2018. Love your videos. Keep it up. Thank you. The update is okay, but I have a problem with the cellular. It stopped working. I'd love to know what device that is, though. Performance is good, but battery is terrible on my iPhone 8 Plus. iMessage crashed 2 or 3 times. I haven't seen the iMessage crash too often, though. It's great, but I am still bothered by the fact that when my AirPods are plugged in, my phone screen is turned off, and I skip a song, the screen turns on. Even if I change volume, the same thing happens. It's a waste of battery life when I do it from the buttons of the earphones, because all the time I switch them and my phone is in my pocket, the screen will turn on for no reason. Can you make a video on how to downgrade? I already have. You can downgrade. I did one on how to downgrade to iOS 12. If you find that video, it's the exact same steps, just for the previous version of iOS 13. I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max having battery drainage, email issues, other minor bugs. It's a headache. All this going to many updates, but Apple needs to step up to come up with better updates, not just keeping with small updates that are not really worth it at all. And it looks like they're going to be refining that process, so hopefully we'll see some changes with that. Battery life just got worse. 8 Plus works great on my 10R. Seems to work fine on my 11. No battery issues or any issues so far. Everything seems to be running smoothly on my iPhone 10. Battery seems very good, 86% health. RAM management is very good, and I'm very happy with this update. I'll read a couple more. On my iPad Air 3, it's been fine on 13.2.3, but with some minor bugs. I'm keeping my iPhone 7 Plus on 13.1.2 because of reports of terrible battery life on newer versions. There's something with the iPhone 7 series where they just keep having bad battery life and weird bugs, so hopefully they can fix that soon. Great, I am using 10R, had an issue with my wallpaper, it dims to dark mode even when I'm on normal mode, but after this update everything looks fine on my wallpaper. So far doing great on this update. Should wait for iOS 13.3. iPhone 10, fresh install, slow response, email app freezes, battery is better than before. iPhone 7 battery drain is worse than 13.2. So you'll see most of the complaints are with battery life. Everything else seems to be mostly smooth with occasional app crashes. But let me know if you found anything else in the comments below. And if you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, of course, I'll link it in the description as I always do. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.